Welcome back. Now, every Tuesday on Business Watch, we put the spotlight on entrepreneurial matters. And on today's show, we'll turn the spotlight to Kenyans living abroad. For many Kenyans in the diaspora, coming back home to set up shop or even seek for employment is an uphill task. It's no wonder then that recently conducted studies indicate that only 4% of all remittances sent back home get invested in real business, as half of the remittances end up in consumption spending. With me in studio is a lady who has first-hand experience of the struggles of coming back after living and working in the United States for a while. Lucy-lau-Bigham, the Executive Director of Tosheka Textiles, is here to give us her story. Welcome to Business Watch. Welcome, Lucy. It's a pleasure to host you.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, maybe just to start us off, give us a brief picture of what it was like living in the States.
Well, living in the States is interesting, and I went there not really for studies. I've been in the States back and forth since 1992. I've lived there since 2003 on a continuous basis, so that's about 9-10 years. And really, when many Kenyans who live in the States, or many Africans who live in the States, are like third-class citizens. And so it takes you, when you come from Kenya, going to the States, you're going to the land of opportunity. And it's not until you get there that after coming from a country where you're so proud of, I mean, you walk here, you walk like you're walking in your own land, right?
Yeah.
And you get there, it's like, you know, you're not quite the citizen. But then on the other hand, there's also positive sides of it. The systems work. You go there with a mindset that it's a land of milk and honey. You get disappointed real quick. Okay. Or you get to realize it's not quite. But the upside of it is that you do learn a lot that can help you when you come back home.
Is it profitable working in the States?
I would say you just sustain your day-to-day living. It's very subsistent.
Yeah.
And many Kenyans, many people who live in the States, middle class, quote, quote, are just working hand to mouth, mouth to hand. It's a society that's built like that. Okay. That many people just work, and you're not about to get anywhere further than getting your check and eating. Actually, you live on credit. Yeah. The first time I went there, my sisters were like, wow, this is your house, that's your car. And I was like, yeah, so how did you get your car? I said, you either have the cash or you don't. Okay. It's cash money, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, so and many people are surprised. And I was surprised to find people go out there and, you know, get a table if they want it. You can get anything you want. But of course it catches up with you pretty soon.
Okay, because you're living on credit.
Yeah.
All right. Now, there are many people who are losing jobs after the credit crunch affected the U.S., Western countries, and also even Africa, I mean the third world countries. And some have lost their jobs, some Kenyans, and some have found it difficult to come back. Why do you think that's the case?
I think it's really a cultural and a mindset, because many people, when they go there, they look at material stuff. You look at big cars, big roads. Of course, like I said, you can get anything out of the counter. You have a credit card, and they're always rushing them at you. And they also get to a place when they're coming home. Many people have tried to come back home. And if you've lived out there for so long and you come home and you find Lucy, who you went to school with, now has a house, she's the executive, Joy is there running a show, it really puts you on the spot. Yeah. And you feel like, you know, I'm so far back, when will I ever catch up? And of course, other times when you come here, we have, in the States, you can literally do business virtually. On the computer, on the internet, you can order anything, you can get it. Little things that are not really substantial make you think it's a very superficial living in the States. It makes you feel like, oh, I can't make it in Kenya, I can't get this, the roads are not good, there are no highways, but all those are excuses, really. In my view, I think that those are just material things that kind of block us from seeing beyond that.
Okay. So you're saying basically that when they come back, they could get into a depression because their peers have moved on ahead of them, and they're feeling, wow, if they actually stayed here and got jobs and did work, they would have gone as far, maybe, if not further.
Yeah, and on the other hand, you also feel like ashamed, because in the States, you've gone to school, you've gotten a degree, but what you're really doing in the States has nothing to do with what you went to school for. You know, you're either working in a senior home center, or, of course, there are many Kenyans who have professional jobs. Yeah. So
now, when you thought of coming back to Kenya, what challenges did you face, or did you have, even internally, just toying with the thought of coming back to Kenya?
Let me say that I went to the States with the mind of not living there.
Okay.
And the first time that I went to the States, I had such a bad culture shock. I wanted to come back home like the next day.
Okay.
And I did.
Yeah.
Because things were just not working for me, First of all, the roads were too big. I couldn't open the door. Small things that were really frustrating me that I didn't know were frustrating me. So anyway, I came back. I got a really bad culture shock because things were so different. That was in 1992. And went back again. I was invited back again to work with this contemporary museum. And I kind of liked it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I went back with the mind to come back. And I have been involved, I have a lot of experience, extensive experience in community development. So I love to work with the community, with the low-income, rural and urban communities. So even when I went, I was employed by this contemporary museum, the Fabric Workshop and Museum, and I made it clear that I wanted to be home every summer to be able to pursue my career. So it was a little easier for me than many of the Kenyans that have tried to come home. And I do talk to many people. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, okay. Yeah.
So basically then you're coming back because you told them that you wanted to come and set up a business here.
Exactly.
Are they the ones who sent you back with the idea of the business you set up, or?
Oh, no.
They had nothing to do with it?
They had nothing to do with it. Okay. The museum that I work for is a contemporary museum, but I'm still in the textile field. I'm a textile surface designer, and it's also a not-for-profit organization, so I'm still dealing with the angle of development. Yeah. I coordinate a program that addresses young people, disadvantaged young people who want to pursue a career in the textiles. Mm-hmm. But then, because I already had the vision to want to develop the textile industry here because of what happened in the 1990s, and I am in tune with what is going on in Kenya, like the Kenya Vision, textile is a major sector that is going to be addressed in our vision. It's being addressed in our Vision 2030. So I did have a mindset to come back home. And I have my husband, who's an African-American, born in America, has also been very, very supportive in my projects and ideas. Mm-hmm. They call him a cultural warrior. Okay. Because he educates and he preserves African cultural art.
Even in your quest to coming back, were you exposed to any organization that deals with people who want to come back to Kenya, organizations that maybe train people or sensitize Kenyans about the culture shock they would expect? Like train you. Did you have any contact with any?
No, and I think that's a wonderful idea. I'm not aware of any. I don't know if you are, but I have been involved. The Kenyan embassy, I would say, our new ambassador, Elkanah Odembo, has been